Alrighty guys, so what's in my bag? My name is Pete. This is my channel, 1822 MC Adventures and More. And today the question is, what's in my bag? Yesterday, I went fishing. It was Thursday, December 16th. Today is Friday, December 17th. Last 2 days, it's been in the 70s. Been really nice. Of course, it's cold at night, but been nice. So with some 70-degree weather, why would I not want to go fishing? So threw a couple things in the bag, went down to the river. Didn't have the greatest day fishing, but it was still a good day. And what I did was I brought my butt pack, a canteen, a first aid kit, my needle nose pliers, a firebox kit. Let me show you what's inside. So I went to one of my favorite little spots, and I went down there and I tried a trout magnet. Couldn't get a nibble. I guess what it is the water's just too cold. They don't really want to chase bait. So I took the trout magnet off and I put a piece of worm on there, and I did get a nice nibble, but I wasn't paying attention and I lost it. So I went to another spot. I went to the little Branch Creek by that bridge. You've seen me do other cane pole videos there. I went there, and it was a dink marathon. I think the biggest fish I caught was probably about that big, but I caught probably at least a dozen. So I mean, I shouldn't really complain, right? Let me show you what's in my bag. Right. My vintage worm box that I got from my dad. And I did throw this a few times. It's a double-bladed spinner. I was hoping to maybe snag a pike because it's that time of year, but the water's so low, I guess where I was at, they just weren't there, because I have caught pike where I was at before. Brought my trout slayers, and the reason I got the trout slayers in here, these are a crayfish type of rubber bait, but I also have two bins here reserved for trout magnets. So I was fishing with trout magnets yesterday. Of course, don't go anywhere without the panfish magnets. Didn't use them, but I had them. Of course, I had my vintage from probably the 40s pocket tackle box. And in here I had couple bobbers, some kale hooks, some regular hooks, some split shot, some leader line, you know, typical stuff. Pocket tackle box. I've had it since I was a kid. My dad gave it to me, and I found out that my dad's best friend gave it to him, and I'm trying to get up with him to find out if his dad gave it to him. So I think there may be in the future a very interesting story about this box. Extra set of trout magnets, some assorted bobbers. Did not use them because the water was so low, but I have some spinning type baits in here. What I have is have a rattle trap, another rattle trap. There's two little old school spoons sitting next to it, another rattle trap, an inline spinner, couple of beetle spins, but bigger size ones, a big old spoon, and then I got some Roadrunner spinners in there. Like I said, because the water was so low, I did not use any of these. Peanut M&Ms, must have when you're fishing. Rag, and inside I got my little fish scale and ruler in case I catch a nice one. And in the event that I caught a chain pickerel yesterday worth bringing home, I had my stringer. So yeah, it was pretty funny. So I'm at that little bridge where I went cane poling before with great success, and I'm catching little dinks, right? I was catching green sunfish, I was catching in warmouth, and I caught like one or two bullheads. They were all small. Even the bullhead wasn't any bigger than that. Just little runts. Guess what it is the water's so cold, everyone's just kind of sitting still. At least that's what I was thinking, right? So I'm down there fishing, and because it's been cold, I'm not worried about snakes. But I'm down there, and I'm on the opposite side of the bridge that I normally fish. And up under the bridge, I keep hearing a splashing, and I see water moving up by the pylons underneath the bridge. And I didn't really think much of it. I figured, well, maybe there's a small chain pickerel chasing the little fish, or maybe there's a bowfin chasing the fish, right? Well, whatever. And so I'm fishing, and I'm catching these little dinks, and the trout magnets weren't working, so I was using a trout magnet with worms on it, and then I had another pole I was using. It was like a size 6 kale hook, and I caught like a green sunfish on that. That was about it. But back to what I was thinking about. So I'm sitting there and I'm fishing, and I keep seeing the splashing around, and I don't think much of it. And I'm sitting there fishing, and all of a sudden I feel like something's watching me. Like, you know, I'm sure more than one of you out there know that feeling. You're sitting there, and all of a sudden you feel like something's watching you. So I kind of look up, and I move my head real slow to the left. And what do I see in the water right next to one of the bridge pylons? This little head looking around. It was an otter. So this otter was in there chasing fish. No wonder I wasn't catching anything nice. I was competing with an otter. You know, he had an unfair advantage. But it was really cool. And I didn't have the camera on. I was so pissed about that, because he was sitting there watching me, and then I looked over at him, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and then he just went on about his business and kept on catching fish. And it ended up being a good day. But back to what I'm doing here, right? So I got this old military ass pack, and I like to use it as a haversack. I got my military strap, sling carrying strap, whatever they call it. My little firebox tin, and I keep this needle nose pliers in that hole there with this here piece of stretch cord, so I can slide it through the hole, and boom, I got instant access to it. I don't have to dig through this to get it. This is a new Ifak pouch, even though it looks like it's been rode hard and put up wet more than once. This was another one of them deals I got dirt cheap, and I'm so glad, because if I'd have paid much more than what I did for it, it was just a couple bucks, I'd have been pissed. But it's your standard Ifak, and now I got a bandana in here, an extra compact, and some burn ointment and stuff, but I'll go over this later. I got a couple new Ifak pouches, but I never go fishing without a first aid kit. And of course, you got to bring a canteen, right? And this particular one here is the newer style with the butterfly handles, and of course I got the little stove in case you got heat tabs, or you could build a little twig fire under that if you had to. But yeah, it adds a lot of weight, but I have the options of boiling water, cooking myself some lunch, making coffee, whatever. But no matter what, when it comes to fishing, I'm going to have a setup something similar to this. I'm going to have some lures, I'm going to have some bobbers, I'm going to have a stringer, I'm going to have a scale, I'm going to have a first aid kit, way to take the hooks out, and a canteen. Just bare minimum. Oh, of course, you usually don't see this stuff on camera, but yeah, some M&Ms. So with that being said, what do you say I show you some of the fish I caught? It was long, boring, and stretched out, so I'm just going to show you the fish that I caught. With that being said, let's go. So yeah, all in all, it was a good day fishing. No whoppers, nothing big, but I got to see an otter. He wasn't scared of me. He hung out. He was fishing on the other side of the bridge, and I was fishing on this side of the bridge. He just caught way more fish than I did, and I caught like a dozen. So, like I said, I shouldn't be complaining at all. Just nothing keepers. My first place that I went to, I was wanting a keeper, didn't get it. Guess we just need some rain. Need to raise up these water levels a little bit because the creeks are very, very shallow. And as hard as it is to get a bite this time of year, generally speaking, when you get a bite, it'll be something good. This is the time of year for chain pickerel, and I'm hoping to venture out and catch a couple nice ones. I've caught some nice ones off camera. I mean, when I say nice ones, I'm talking fish like this, big enough to bring home and fillet. There's a way that you can fillet them and you end up with like 5 cuts of boneless meat. I'm hoping to do that one day in the near future. So, with that being said, not much of a video. I hope you got something out of it, and just want you to remember one thing. You can suffer under socialism, or you can suffer stopping socialism. It's your choice.